right, let's go ahead and get started. Burp. Oh, it would help if I did this. Ta-da. All right. Well, so we just got done fighting a fight at the Industrial Center. We did win that fight, which was kind of nice. We didn't. Oh, that's right. Our Thunderbolt got just rocked. But that's okay. It's okay. And then we got a brand new commando, which is not too shabby. We'll have to wait a couple of days for our other lands to get back, though. Cool. Let's go ahead and go. Oh. It would help if we assigned a tech to our handy-dandy commando. Sign, person, tech. We'll go ahead and do Torres. Okay. Now all that is done. Let's go ahead and advance a day. See what happens. All right, Able Lance got back. The person who is still going crazy is still going crazy. One of these days I'm going to look to see if we can actually do anything about that. Oh, we should give these guys ranks. So everyone who's new should be a recruit. Annie, who's this? Elvia Clark. I wonder. What to do. I don't think so. I think we're stuck. Oh, hey, I just noticed Idle Pigeon followed yesterday. Thank you so much for the follow. Let's go ahead and get some repairs rolling. First one is probably going to be a Thunderbolt so we can fix the engine that is just a pile of garbage right now. Go and replace all the armor, reload the guns, do all that fun stuff. And then from there, we'll go ahead and get the engine repaired. Boop. Stalker just needs a whole bunch of armor replaced. Oh, no, we don't have any spare SRMs. That's not good. All right, so let's go ahead and order up the missing arm, actuators. Actuator. We should really order a few SRMs just in case. And then the left torso. I wonder how long that'll take to get here. We'll just let this guy chill a little bit so we can also get his niceness or his quality up maybe. We'll keep going forward. I think probably let's go ahead and keep wandering around. So for those of you that didn't know, Another announcement was made today on the MegaMek Discord channel with version 50.10, which will hopefully be coming out in the next 1 to 2 weeks. They are getting rid of Against the Bot as a playstyle. So when you first load in to the game and you're making a campaign, right now, if you grab version 50.07, you can do Against the Bot or Stratcom. Stratcom being essentially what allows you to have this area of operations map for all of your contracts. And then Against the Bot is like the old style where you didn't have this map or anything like that. You did the contracts and all you had was the briefing room, and you would mindlessly click advanced day until normally on like Mondays you would get a mission. And depending on what forces you had and what roles they were in, it would be more or less likely to generate a mission. And so with 50.10, Against the Bot is being depreciated and removed, and then they are keeping Stratcom as well as mapless Stratcom. And if you want to learn more about it, then just join the MegaMek Discord and go to announcements, and Hammer put a great little post up on the blog that also includes the history of MegaMek, of MekHQ, which is really, really neat. All right, let's go ahead and keep on exploring a little. Most things will probably get here in about 3 weeks. I don't think I'm playing with fatigue on this one, which makes things a lot easier. In the next campaign, we will be playing with fatigue as well as a lot of the other options that make things more challenging. Aha! Diversion engagement. So let's go ahead and go to the briefing room. This is a turning point. The enemy has deployed a delaying force to stall our advance towards a critical objective. Their mission is to slow us down, bleed our forces, and buy time for the reinforcements to fortify their position. Your task is to push through their blockade and continue the advance. Victory can be achieved in one of two ways. Ensure at least 50% of your force reaches the far edge of the engagement zone, bypassing the enemy's attempt to hold you in place. Alternatively, if they commit too heavily to blocking your path, destroy at least 75% of their forces, breaking their ability to resist and forcing them to withdraw. I'm probably just going to do that. Be advised, the enemy will control the field at the end of the engagement. There will be no time for salvage or securing the area. Speed and decisive action are key. Either break through the enemy, break through, or break them entirely. But do not allow them to stall our momentum. Your employer has deployed alongside an integrated force, and then the enemy is going to have 3 sets of scout mechs from their 3 data centers. We really need to find those data centers. All right, so let's take a look to see what they have. So their Op 4 is going to have, awesome, Sentinel, and 2 Stingers, and then they're going to have a pile of lights to include another 2 Stingers, 2 Fire Starters, a Locust, and a Commando. It's a lot of Stingers. So I think we already know what we're going to do here. The Guillotine, I think, yeah, we dump. Do we dump the Thunderbolt or the Guillotine? I think we dump the Thunderbolt. So we get rid of the Thunderbolt and swap in one of the Warhammers. Yeah, that's the move, I think. So we're going to swap out the Thunderbolt. Remove unit from TO&E. We are going to move our pilot from the Thunderbolt over to the Warhammer. And then we're going to add the Warhammer to Able Lance. Also, for the next campaign, we're not doing the antiquated Able, Baker, Charlie. We're not doing that. Phonetics, it drives me nuts. We're going to the modern native phonetics. All right. So we are set. Able Lance now has the Guillotine, Grasshopper, Stalker, and Warhammer. And then we just have to prepare to deploy. This is going to be happening on the 21st, so in 3 days. Why don't we go ahead and get Able Lance deployed. We're not going to include the Stinger this time because I just have a bad feeling about that. So we're probably going to shoot to destroy 75% of the Op4 and the first recon force. So we need to destroy a total of, 5 mechs, right? Aha! Welcome, Ilianid. Ilianid? Yes, the Warhammer. The beloved Warhammer. Personally, my favorite. I grab a Grasshopper every time I can. It just brings me a lot of joy. All right. But, yes, if I remember correctly, 75% of 6 is at least 5. So we need to destroy 5 of the 6 mechs from... Oh, and our allies are bringing a Wasp and an Archer with horrendous pilots. So we need to destroy 5 of these 6 mechs. Ruh-roh. Who does not have a mech? Or who does not have a tech? Oh, got it. Assign. Tech. You can do this. That makes sense. All right, now we can go forward a couple of days. Commando improves in quality from C to D. We're going to let it improve all the way up to F, and then we'll actually repair the thing. And then it is time for us to dive on in. And this is just reiterating all the things that we already read. And let's go. And then we wait. And we wait. And we continue waiting. Well, I hope that everybody is having a great night so far. And hopefully, for our veterans active duty, all of you were able to have a nice Veterans Day. Go out, maybe get some pasta or at least a cup of coffee. After our first contract, we'll randomly roll a call sign for Claudia. But she has to get through her first contract before she can earn a call sign. And then she'll get promoted from recruit all the way up to private. And we win initiative, which is always nice. All right, so technically, we have to go from the bottom of the map to the top of the map, or we destroy 75% of their mechs. Probably just gonna, we'll go for the north end of the map. We'll see what happens. It's a pretty open map. But if we can destroy 75% of them, that would also make me pretty happy. Go ahead and drop some friends down. Make sure that we can support our friends. I don't actually feel comfortable about the allied archer being right behind me with them being a 6-7 pilot. Pretty sure they're just going to shoot me in the back. Now, here's a question. So pretty much all of the recon mech reinforcements are probably, I would guess, going to come in from the south, even though the first and the third can come in from any edge. And then, but the second reinforcement is going to be able to come in from the south. And they're going to be coming in on round 3. And we're gonna close the distance. It's gonna be great. Allegedly. Whoops. Oof, why is my game going slowly? My game goes slowly, and I don't know why. There we go. Now we'll see if we have the same bug this time where it doesn't want to cycle the lines of fire through each weapon. Doesn't look like we're having that right now. But everybody's out of range, so we're going to skip firing. Skip, skip, skip. Well, for those of you joining, if it's your first time joining, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. If you are returning, thank you for coming back. Hopefully you all enjoy the stream and enjoyed just a nice little bit of relaxing BattleTech. Oh, that reminds me. I never updated the stream title. I am a very bad person. Stand by. Who waits? Who waits? Oh no. I'm not playing Super Animal Royale. That's all wrong. I'm playing MegaMek. Ruh-roh. Nobody report me. And ta-da! Now we're having the right title. That was awkward. Okay. Anyways, we lost initiative, which is fine. We already know what we're doing this turn, and that's just pressing W. Just got to close the distance. You know, and for that awesome specifically, we probably just need to close the distance all the way as much as we can so that hopefully we just get within his minimum and he is not able to shoot us quite as well. It's just a bummer that we're not going to be able to keep any salvage. Makes me a little sad. All right. And next turn, we should actually be able to start doing things. And we win initiative, which is exciting. But the enemy comes from behind. These that should be at level, yeah, that'll give us some cover. So now, do we turn and engage the crap behind us? Because they're just going to overrun us. I think that we have to. The downside is that that Awesome's going to keep closing distance and start shooting us in the back, which will be annoying, to say the least. Put the guillotine into a hole and see if he can't do something. All right, so let's do this and then this. All right, so we've got 11s to hit on the medium lasers, B10s to go against the fire starter. Otherwise, it's 8s against the back fire starter inside of that magical short distance. Or 9s against the commando. Those commandos can be scary, man. Like they're just lights, but you know, when they start dumping those SRMs, it doesn't feel very good. So let's go ahead. We're gonna go for the 8s on the LRMs against the fire starter. Which ones are from Mech? Okay, so the fire starter is also one of the ones that I need to deal with because he's from the first recon. And that'll be everything for you. For the Shadowhawk, wait a minute. I brought the wrong lance. Whoops. That's okay. Everything's gonna be fine. It's all gonna be fine. Well, this is less than ideal. It's 10s for the AC5, 11s, 11. It's kind of a bummer. Mech 2, Mech 2, Mech 3. Was it the Stinger? No, I'll be the Locust. Yeah, the Locust is the other one that I have to deal with. Well, I'll go ahead. We'll do what we can. We'll do an AC5 and the LRM against the fire starter. Everything else is going to be an auto miss, so nothing to do there. The riflemen, however, 12, 11 to hit, 12, 11, 12, 12. It all sucks. We'll do what we can. Fire 1 PPC, and that'll be it. There's no point in getting really toasty right now. What does a Sentinel carry? I don't know. AC5, SRM2, and a small laser. That's adorable. Okay. Well, with the Gladiator, why don't we go ahead? Yeah. With 10s to hit, that should be fine. It would be a 9 against the Commando, but let's go ahead and target down the Locust if we can. Ooh, 12s? No, we're not going to worry about it. All right, so the Firestarter misses. Enemy Wasp, sorry, Allied Wasp against the Locust hits, doing 2 damage to the right arm with a medium laser. The enemy Commando against the Archer hits with a medium laser into the Ceratorso. Our Archer hits with an LRM-20 against the Firestarter with 12 missiles, hitting the left arm, center torso, and the left torso, and then also hits again with another 16 missiles, 5 damage to the center torso, 5 to the right leg, 5 to the left arm, and then 1 to the left torso. That left arm is down to 2 internal structure. The enemy Firestarter hits against the Archer, doing 5 damage to the right leg, 5 damage to the right leg, another 2 damage to the right leg. That poor right leg. Our Shadowhawk misses. The enemy Stinger misses. Enemy Locust hits against the Allied Wasp in the right leg with a machine gun. Allied Archer actually hits something. That is novel. Medium laser into the Commando, doing 2 damage to the right torso. And then the LRM-20 hits with 6 missiles, doing 5 damage to the left arm and 1 damage to the right arm. Enemy Stinger misses. Other enemy Stinger hits against the Archer into the right leg with a machine gun, and then the left torso with another machine gun. Our Rifleman misses. The enemy Sentinel misses. Our Gladiator misses. The Archer has to make a piloting skill check. His piloting sucks, so he falls. He takes 7 damage, 5 to the center torso rear, 2 to the left torso rear, and then the pilot also takes a damage. Firestarter also takes greater than 20 damage, but he stays standing. All right. Moving on. Physical attacks. The enemy Stinger kicks the Archer in the right leg. Who doesn't have to roll to fall because he already fell. See, that's how you keep a drunk person from falling. You just put them on the ground because then they can't fall anymore. Okay. Moving on into the next turn. And we lost initiative. Oh. We didn't completely lose initiative, but not a great start. We'll back up that way. Okay, I think the guillotine needs to go down and be with his friends. That is what I am thinking. I think his friends are lonely and he needs to go be with his friends. Do I want to do that or do I want to do that? I think I do that. It's less than ideal. Maybe we can kick a Stinger. I think that would be nice. The Archer stood up. I'm proud of him. Good job, buddy. Good job. All right, for the Archer, which I think I've said it before, but I'll say it again. The rear medium lasers on the Archer, just why couldn't they be front facing? That would make me so much happier. Okay, so I can either shoot at the Stinger with 5s, or I could twist and shoot at the Firestarter for 7s. I think that I'm just gonna roll with the Stinger. Hope for the best. That should be fine. For my happy little Shadowhawk, he can also It's 9s against the Firestarter, which is the mech I actually probably need to deal with. Or 7s against the Stinger. We'll just keep the party train rolling here. So 9s to hit the Firestarter, 7s to hit the Stinger, but we're going to go ahead and go with the Firestarter in hopes that we can do something there. Our allied Wasp is having a bad day. Okay, let's see what happens. And then last but not least, it's going to be my Gladiator. So it's a 7 into the Stinger, or 9s into the Firestarter. I think I'm going to risk it. Let's risk it for the biscuit and see what happens. Okay, the Archer hits the center torso of the Stinger, 1 armor remaining. The Stinger misses. Our Shadowhawk hits a medium laser into the left leg of the Stinger, no armor remaining. SRM-2 hits with both of the missiles, doing 2 damage to the left arm and 2 damage to the left torso. The enemy Firestarter shoots at our Archer, hitting with everything. Medium laser into the right leg, machine gun into the center torso, and a machine gun into the right leg. It would have been a crit, but we re-roll, so no more crit. Then the enemy Firestarter shoots at the allied Archer, hitting with a machine gun and a flamer. Do you guys, when you play, do you play with the rule where the flamer deals heat and damage, or you select between heat and damage? The allied Wasp hits the Commando with a medium laser, doing 2 damage to the center torso. SRM-2 also hits with 2 missiles, doing 2 damage to the right arm, and another 2 damage to the right arm. The enemy Commando hits the allied Wasp with 2 of its 10 SRMs, doing 2 damage to the left leg and 2 damage to the left torso. BMM. Oh. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, the Flamers are kind of garbage unless you're going against infantry, so I prefer to play with them having the doing both heat and damage. I just think it makes a lot more sense. And it works both ways. You know, somebody can use flamers against you and then it's a bad day. So enemy Stinger against the Archer. Medium laser hits the center torso, misses with the machine gun and machine gun to the left leg. Our Gladiator misses with his PPC. The enemy Locust causes the allied Wasp to have a bad day. Hits with the medium laser into the rear center torso, critting on the gyro and the jump jet. A whole lot of misses. Allied Archer into the Stinger. Hits the right torso with a medium laser, and then also hits the center torso, critting the engine. The Wasp stays standing, which is great. The enemy Stinger falls, doing 2 damage to the right torso, critting a jump jet, but the pilot doesn't take damage. Okay, so the Rifleman, we could either kick or kick, because we use both of our arms. So I think we'll kick. So the Firestarter kicks the Archer in the right leg, doing 7 damage. The Rifleman kicks the Stinger into the right leg, destroys the right leg, and transfers 1 damage to the right torso, which is now down to 3 internal structure. And then the enemy Stinger kicks the Wasp, critting on the hip and the right leg for the right, or the lower leg for the right leg. The enemy Commando also kicks the Wasp, but critting on the left leg in the foot and the lower leg. The Archer was kicked, stays standing. The Wasp is already down. Oh, the Wasp was not down because it stays standing, but it falls, doing 2 damage to the center torso. That Mech also takes some damage. The Archer missed a kick and falls, taking 7 damage, 5 to the right arm, 2 to the left arm. But he does not take damage. The Locust stays standing, and then the Firestarter stays standing. Good for them. Our Archer is at 1 heat. Allied Archer is at 5. And we win initiative, which is great, mostly. We mostly win. I'm really wishing I would have brought the correct lance. But I misclicked. And now I have to pay the consequences. Go ahead and do that. Kind of want to have the... You know, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to have the Gladiator walk up and kick the Stinger, but, you know, punch him in the face. Well, the nice news is that the Stinger that was right here ejected, so we don't have to worry about him anymore. The Archer failed to stand up, which is not great. Why did they even try standing if they needed a 13 to stand? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so the Wasp and the Archer just keep falling over and over and damaging themselves, which I'm familiar with this problem. That's how one of my pilots died, when they literally fell on their face and killed themselves. All right, so 7s or 7s. We'll take the 7s. And it's a 9. 12, we'll skip it. Skip the LRM, but we'll do the SRM into the Firestarter. The Rifleman can just dump all of its medium lasers. Kind of sucks that it's all 10s to hit, but it is what it is. And then the Gladiator can do both of its medium lasers and its SRM. And we hope for the best. Well, something hit. All right. Allied Wasp does nothing. The enemy Stinger hits with a medium laser into the left torso of the Gladiator. Also hits with both the machine guns into the right leg and the left arm. Our Archer hits the center torso of the Firestarter with a medium laser and the right torso with another medium laser. The enemy Firestarter hits the Archer in the left torso with a medium laser. Our Shadow Hawk hits with an SRM-2 with both of its missiles, doing 2 damage to the left torso and 2 damage to the left arm, destroying the left arm. Enemy Commando, they're going to be doing very bad things to this Wasp. We're just going to leave it at that. And I'll give you the clip notes. But the Allied pilot just blacked out, which it makes things even worse. Enemy Stinger missed. Enemy Sentinel missed. The enemy Locust is doing bad things to the Allied Wasp. Our Rifleman missed with everything. The Firestarter missed. Enemy Stinger hits with both of its machine guns against the immobile Wasp. And then the Gladiator, oh, that makes me happy, Medium laser into the right torso, medium laser into the left leg. SRM-6 hits with 4 of the 6 missiles, doing 2 damage to the right leg, 2 damage to the left arm, 2 damage to the left arm, and 2 damage to the left leg, critting on the lower leg of that left leg. The Stinger does stay standing, unfortunately. So the Shadowhawk, hopefully it can kick this Firestarter. It's a 7 to hit. The Rifleman, let's see if it can do something. That is also a 7 to hit, but fortunately, if we do hit, then we have a pretty good chance of just taking the head off. And then the Gladiator can also kick. It's a 6 to hit. I'll take that risk. Stinger missed. Locust kicks the Wasp. Shadowhawk successfully kicks the Firestarter, doing 11 damage to the left leg. The Firestarter missed. The other Firestarter missed. The Rifleman hits against the left torso, doing 10 damage to the left torso, 1 armor remaining. The enemy Stinger kicks the Wasp. Enemy Commando kicks the Wasp, doing really bad things to the Wasp. The Gladiator kicks the left leg of the Stinger, doing 11 damage, destroying the left leg. Transferring 9 damage to the left torso, 2 internal structure left on the left torso. Bazaar automatically falls because he lost a leg, and he also missed a kick. Then he deals 2 damage to the left arm, critting on the lower arm and the hand. And then he also fails to avoid damage, taking 1 hit. The Firestarter stays standing, and then the other Firestarter also stays standing. Our Wasp is, or the allied Wasp anyways, is at 9 heat because it's taken 2 engine hits. And then the enemy Firestarters are hot at 8, and then the Commandos at 6. We once again win initiative, which is really nice. I'm really okay with this. I think we just make some more distance. Oh, I love that. Their Stinger just failed to stand up, which is pretty nice. So why don't we go ahead and bait the enemy into coming at me? Let's see what happens. Oh, but I might be in range of that awesome now, which is not, awesome. Those Firestarters are going to be getting awful toasty with jumping this much. And the Archer pilot blacked out as well, which is just great. Okay, is this where the rear lasers actually come in handy? So it's a 9 to hit him, an 8 to hit him, but I really need to get him out because he actually matters. So we'll go ahead and fire with the medium laser. We'll risk it, fire the AC-5, and we'll fire the SRM-2. The Rifleman, we'll just do medium lasers. It's 9s. There we go. Oh, good. The awesome can't shoot me. That's nice. So we're just going to be kicking this guy again. I don't think that we need to necessarily keep shooting him. It would be great if a PPC could hit. That would bring me a lot of joy. And we'll risk it. We'll get a little warm. Yeah, we'll get a little warm. All right, let's see what happens. The Firestarter misses with everything because they are hot. Commando also misses. Our archer hits the fire starter in the right torso with a medium laser. Our Shadowhawk destroys the left leg of the fire starter, misses with everything else. Enemy Stinger misses. Enemy Locust hits the Gladiator in the center torso. Other enemy fire starter does hit the right rear torso with a medium laser. Is down to 1 armor, as well as hitting the left arm with a machine gun. The Rifleman hits the right torso of the fire starter with a medium laser, and then hits the center torso and the left arm with additional medium lasers. Enemy Stinger misses. Enemy Sentinel hits the Gladiator with an AC-5 into the center torso and hits with 2 of the 2 SRM missiles, doing 2 damage to the right arm and the right torso. Gladiator missed with a PPC and missed with a medium laser. Firestarter falls on its left side, doing 4 damage to the center torso, crits with no effect, and then the pilot also takes a damage. The other Firestarter stays standing. And you kick. Oh. To the head. Ouch. Okay. That's not good. Gladiator, one internal structure remaining. That is brutal. So the Stinger stays alive. Yeah, those fire starters are at 10 heat now. Okie dokes. What to do? That is the question. Well, I think the right move here is to make it so we can't get kicked in the head again, which is fairly important. This Firestarter is probably going to jump up behind me. It's fine-ish. Do that. Okay, good. The Stinger ejected. So the Gladiator can just back on up. It would be great if I could do more to help my Gladiator out. I'm not sure. That's actually probably about as good as I'm going to get, actually. So I think 2 LRMs. We can be 4 over on heat for this turn. That'll be fine. I always love a -2 modifier. It brings joy. So we'll fire the medium laser, AC-5. Not going to waste the LRM and the SRM. If we could do, we'll go ahead and risk it, and we'll make that the secondary target. And then we'll do some medium lasers into the commando. And then for the Gladiator, I think we just try to focus down the Sentinel. All right, so the Archer LRM-20, 12 of the 20 missiles hits the Sentinel, doing 5 damage to the left leg, 5 to the center torso, and 2 to the right leg. And then another 16 missiles hit, doing 5 damage to the right torso, 5 damage to the left torso, 5 damage to the center torso, and additional 1 damage to the center torso. Center torso is down to 1 armor. Commando misses with everything. Our Shadowhawk hits the Firestarter and the rear center. Of course, we're hitting the rear. Naturally. Okay. Missed the AC-5. SRM-2 hits with 1 missile, doing damage to the left rear torso. The Commando gets hit by a medium laser from our Rifleman into the right arm, destroying the right arm. Misses with everything else. Enemy Stinger misses. Other enemy Stinger misses. Our Gladiator shooting at the Sentinel. Oh, that brings joy right there. Medium torso into the center, medium laser into the center torso, destroying the armor, getting 2 crits, critting twice on the engine. He's going to be getting warm. Sentinel stays standing, just barely. Everybody else missed. I feel bad for this Wasp. Just existing, it's gaining 10 heat, and it can sink only 7. But I also feel a little bad for the Sentinel because it's going to be gaining some heat as well. But the Wasp pilot finally woke up. The Archer pilot is still unconscious. And we are kind of middle of initiative. Also, for the next campaign, I'm enabling the setting where you can back up over different elevation changes. Well, so that Firestarter is not going to be going anywhere because it lost a leg. We're just going to jump. Land facing that way. Then we can finally kick the guy. Maybe we can do something. Fortunately, I don't even want my Archer to unload on the SR or the LRMs right now because it's a little too hot. But we can walk up to a Stinger and kick it. Maybe. Hold on 1 second. Oh my goodness. Oh. Hold on 1 second. Hey, Jace, did you see what my dad said? Oh my goodness. Do you want to go look? Yeah. Okay. Do you want to go out and see if you can see anything, or?
Yeah, I'll go look.
Okay, sounds good. Sorry about that. The where we're at right now, apparently, you can see the aurora, which I don't know if you know this, in the Midwest doesn't actually happen that often. So I'm sending my wife to go investigate and see what happens. She's going to report back. We'll let you know. Now then, what to do with the rifleman? Who knows? Because no matter what we do, either the commander or the fire starter is going to end up on my back. But I think we just back up a little bit and we see what happens. That's interesting. I don't know what the Sentinel is planning to do. All right, so the Wasp ejected. Fire with a couple of medium lasers at the Stinger. And then go ahead and shoot with some things there. LRM. Oofda. Take an 11. That's fine. So it's 9s to hit the commando with the PPCs. Or it's 8s for the medium lasers. I think that we just do the medium lasers because one little hit into the center torso of that Sentinel and it disintegrates. So we'll do that. And then for our Gladiator, it's a 9 on the PPC, which I think is reasonable. Yeah, why don't we just do a PPC and we'll risk a medium laser. One heat isn't going to hurt us too bad. All right, so our Archer, medium laser into the right arm of the Stinger, missed with the other medium laser. Our Shadowhawk, medium laser into the left leg of the Firestarter. 2 missiles into the right torso and the left arm, which transfers to the left torso, critting on some jump jets, which doesn't matter. Enemy commando hits with the SRM-6, 4 of the 6 missiles, doing 2 damage into the Archer's right torso, left torso, center torso, and another 2 into the left torso. The Rifleman misses with everything. Knees an 8, rolls a 7. Knees an 8, rolls a 4. Knees an 8, rolls a 6. Knees an 8, rolls a 6. Oh no, Awesome has entered the battle. PPCs, only one of them hits. 10 damage into the left torso of the Gladiator. Locust misses. Gladiator misses. The Firestarter misses with almost everything, but does hit with the Flamer, doing 2 damage to the left torso rear. Stinger misses. Other Stinger also misses. All right, bud, don't let me down. It's a 7 to hit. And then you should definitely be able to hit. Archer misses. Shadowhawk destroys the left torso. Center torso is down to 1 internal structure. Firestarter kicks the Shadowhawk. Archer missed a kick, stays standing. Shadowhawk was kicked and stays standing. Some people are warm. And the Archer pilot is still unconscious. Oh, it hurts. We very much lost initiative. Hopefully, that Firestarter just ejects, and then we don't have to worry about the darn thing. I don't know why it's saying that. Oh, because of the head. That's why it's saying I have heavy damage. back the Shadowhawk up. The Gladiator needs to make some distance. So it's going to go ahead and jump on Bayek. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll get up there. That way we can't have something come up and kick us in the head. Not that anything like that has ever happened. I think we can risk it. Oh, Stinger jumped away. What's the Sentinel going to do? Okay, good. The Firestarter did eject. It's a very interesting choice for that Sentinel, or for the Stinger. All right, well, the Archer, we can go ahead and do a couple of medium lasers. So 7, 10, and a 7 to hit, which will be great. Go ahead and just yeet an LRM towards the Stinger. Who knows? Maybe you'll actually hit something. All right, 9s to hit with the medium lasers. Maybe we can hit something this time. Who knows? And then the Gladiator into the Stinger. Fortunately, the Stinger jumped. Or, unfortunately, we jumped and they moved like 9 hexes. But tends to hit. We'll hope for the best. All right, our Archer hits the left arm of the Commando, 3 internal structure remaining. Enemy Locust misses. Our Shadowhawk hits the Firestarter in the left leg and then hits with one of the 2 missiles on to the left torso. Enemy Commando misses with everything. Our Rifleman misses with everything. Awesome misses with everything. And then the Gladiator also misses. The Firestarter hits into the right leg of the Shadowhawk with a machine gun. The Stinger hits the Archer in the left arm. And then the Sentinel also hits with 1 missile into the Archer's left arm. Oh, thanks. We will try to kick Commando. A 4 to hit is very reassuring. The Shadowhawk, you can punch. 6 to hit, I'll take that risk. And then the Gladiator, hopefully you can do something. It's an 8 to hit, not great, but not terrible. Archer kicks the Commando, destroys the right leg, which is pretty nice. Commando, unfortunately, does kick the left leg of the Archer. Shadowhawk misses, Firestarter misses, Gladiator misses, Stinger misses, everybody missed, but everybody stays standing except for the Commando, who automatically falls. He takes 3 damage to the right leg, which transfers to the right torso, and then also the pilot takes 1 damage. Enemy Sentinel is up to 11 heat. He is going to be getting very warm now. Awesome is at 8 heat. Firestarter is at 9 heat. And we mostly won initiative. Everybody rolled high that time. All right, so the commando bailed. We'll keep backing up with the Shadowhawk. Ooh. All right, guys. Hey, I'm going to take about a 5-minute break here because we can see the Aurora here. So I'm going to leave you in suspense. Maybe you have an idea of what you want me to do next. Maybe you don't. But this would be a great time. If you need it, stand up, walk around, move around a little bit, get a glass of water. I'll be back in about 5 minutes after I get done looking at some northern lights. Be right back. All right. Thank you for bearing with me. If you guys want to wait for just a second, I'm gonna show you exactly what we're seeing. I mean, it was just so. For context, we live in Kansas, and we just moved to Kansas from North Carolina. And a couple of years ago, we were able to see the Northern Lights all the way down in North Carolina. Barely, but we were able to see it. And, previously living in Iowa most of my life, I never saw it, never got to witness that or anything. But now, I mean, just absolutely gorgeous. So if you guys live in the northern part of the United States, I would just walk outside, take a look north, see if you can see something. See what you can see. But I mean, just for context, I mean, that's what you're seeing in like Kansas and Iowa right now. Absolutely gorgeous, beautiful. All right, enough talking about that stuff. I guess I'm just gonna sit here and keep on lamenting about how wonderful and amazing the Northern Lights are. But you probably want to figure out what's going to happen here. Me too. I also want to know. But I think what we're going to have to do is we'll back up with the riflemen, put our back against the wall. The archer will... Honestly, I think if we just come up and we kick the stinger, that might not be a bad idea. I would really love it if, my riflemen would stop missing with everything. That would be pretty great. That would be amazing. All right, so commando ejected. Let's see here. So the archer shooting into the stinger. 6 to hit. Take those odds. Shadowhawk 6 into the fire starter. I think yes. We're gonna go ahead and twist here. We're gonna twist. 8. I'll take that. Take the SRM. I mean, I kind of just want to obliterate the guy, but 6s is going to be the way to go. Whoops, need to twist. Need to get twisty with it. Okay, cool. Up, up, up. Nope, nope. PPC too far. And then last but not least is the gladiator. Oh no, he can't hit the stinger. That's unfortunate. But he can maybe hit the fire starter. Yeah, we'll do a PPC. That'll be fine. All right, so enemy stinger hits the archer in the center torso, right torso, and right arm. Our archer hits with a medium laser into the right arm, destroying the right arm of the stinger, and then 3 damage transfer to the right torso, critting on the medium laser, And then that's about it. Misses with the other medium laser. Locust misses. Shadowhawk hits the left leg as well as the right arm of the fire starter. The Awesome unfortunately hits the left torso of the Archer. The fire starter hits the Shadowhawk in the right leg, right arm, and misses with everything else. The Rifleman finally hits with something. Medium laser into the left leg, another one into the left leg, another one into the left leg. The guy has I think he has one internal structure left on his center torso. And I just hit the left leg 3 times. Okay. Enemy Stinger hits the left torso and left arm with the Shadowhawk. Sentinel misses with everything. Our Gladiator misses with a PPC. Because of course he does. Shadowhawk can kick the Stinger. Why didn't... Oh. Elevation is important, friends. Alright, so Stinger kicks the right leg of the Shadowhawk. No armor remaining. Crits the foot. The Shadowhawk also kicks the left leg of the Stinger, destroying the left leg, transferring 2 damage to the left torso. And Stinger automatically falls because it lost a leg, doing 2 damage to the rear center torso. Also damages the pilot. Sentinel is now at 16 heat. And does manage to avoid a shutdown. The Archer pilot is still unconscious. I swear this Sentinel is one of the luckiest mechs in the world. You know what I really need to do is I just need to kill the Stinger, maybe the Locust. But I can at least run and gun with the Locust, maybe. And then we just need to run from the Awesome. I think that's what we need to do. Because if we try to go toe-to-toe with the Awesome right now, I'm not confident about our odds. We'd probably be fine. Let's just do that for right now. So of course the Stinger stays there. Don't necessarily want to give my back to the Awesome. Turn. Maybe. Nope. Do that for right now. Let's see what else we can do here. right, Sentinel fled. I think the Stinger also fled. I'm kind of betting the Firestarter might also run away. Oh, he doesn't. He does not run away. Yeah, so Sentinel and Stinger both fled, which I'm fine with that. Because I don't think we had to destroy them. I think that we had to destroy or route. And included in that, Stinger, Sentinel, awesome. So I think all of the Stingers have either been incapacitated or forced to route. And then Firestarter and Locust. So I need to destroy the Locust more than anything else. If I can do that, then we actually meet win conditions. So we'll fire both the medium lasers. Go ahead and fire medium laser, AC5, and an SRM2. Yeah. At that Stinger. The Gladiator. Medium laser, and an SRM6. Hopefully something can hit. And then the Rifleman, a single PPC, and then maybe a medium laser or two. I don't think anything there is going to hit, but we can hope. All right, Archer hits the medium laser into the right torso of the Locust. Also hits with the medium laser into the right leg, doing minimal damage due to the narrow profile. Shadowhawk only hits with one missile of the SRM2 into the right torso of the Stinger. Locust hits the left leg of the Archer. Gladiator actually hits things. Does 5 damage to the right torso, 5 damage to the center torso, and then hits with 3 of the 6 SRMs, doing 2 damage to the right leg, 2 damage to the right torso, and 2 damage to the left arm. Both of those are down to internal structure only. Awesome hits the Archer on the left leg with a PPC, misses with the other 2. The Rifleman hits with a PPC. Only does 5 damage to the right torso, though, due to the narrow profile. Stinger misses. Firestarter, medium laser into the right torso, which would have been a left torso crit, but got rerolled with edge. And then hits the left torso, more into the left torso, and more into the left torso. 4 armor remaining. And then we can attempt to punch. All right. So Shadowhawk punches the left leg of the Firestarter, destroying the left leg. Locust kicks the left arm of the Archer. Firestarter automatically falls, doing 4 damage to the right leg. And then the pilot also takes some damage. The Archer stays standing after it was kicked. And we are in the middle of initiative. We can do that. The Gladiator can come down and hopefully kick a Firestarter, which just ejected. So the Locust trying to turn and run. Stinger falls, pilot blacks out. The Firestarter pilot also blacks out, but he ejects. So a couple medium lasers into the back of the Locust. And then just because I want him dead, we're going to go ahead and get a little hot and do an LRM as well, see what happens. If we don't aim, it's just a 0 to hit. If we aim for the head, it's a 7. We'll go ahead and do that. And we'll call that good. For the Rifleman, he doesn't have a shot, but he does have a shot with the PPC against the Awesome, so you might as well, when in Rome. And if you twist, we can fire a couple of shots with a medium laser. That should be everything. All right, Locust takes some damage to the left arm, as well as some damage to the center torso. LRM unfortunately missed. The Locust misses with everything. Shadowhawk destroys the head of the Stinger, destroying the Stinger. Awesome misses with his PPCs. Rifleman misses with its PPC. The Gladiator, doesn't matter what it does. Now all we have to do is destroy the Locust, and we win. Nobody should be attacking anything. Done. Moving on. So we'll have the Gladiator hop on over. Shadowhawk can also join the party. Okay, you're standing on level 1, so you can go there and hopefully successfully do some kicking. So a couple medium lasers should do the trick. 7's to hit there. As for the Shadowhawk, the AC5 is 10 to hit, and the LRM is also a 10. We'll take those odds. The Rifleman, it's 9s with the medium lasers, so let's hope for the best. And last but not least is the Gladiator. With an 11 on the PPC. We're going to go ahead and skip. So the Locust hits with everything. Takes out all the armor on the left torso, unfortunately. Medium laser into the left arm of the Locust, destroying the left arm. And then also transfers 3 damage to the left torso. Another 5 damage to the left torso because the arm doesn't exist. The Shadowhawk misses with everything. Awesome misses with everything. Rifleman also misses with all the things. And then the Archer kicks the right torso, destroying the right torso, transferring some damage to the center torso. Critical hit on the engine. But the mech stays standing. Bum, 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 bum. All right, and we win initiative, which is nice. Unfortunately, they have all of these pilots that are just initiative sinks. See if we can't move some folks and see what the Locust is going to do, maybe. And that, as they say, was that. So Locust just ejected, which means that we have met our victory objectives, and we can type the beautiful phrase /victory. Now all we have to do is not die to the awesome. Easier said than done sometimes. Just everybody run. Split up, go different directions. Oh no, the Locust fled, but you know what? That's fine, because that means that we routed the enemy. Who cares about heat? We're done. And then AC5, LRM. We'll go ahead and waste some ammo. We'll get nice and toasty. Who knows? Maybe it's a cold planet. And then a PPC. Wouldn't it be hilarious if we somehow destroy the awesome? But that didn't happen because we missed with all the LRM-20s. The Shadowhawk hits with an LRM-5, doing a little bit of damage to the left torso. Rifleman misses with everything. Gladiator misses. Fudge. The awesome hits with all three of its PPCs. Critting on the left upper arm a few times and also destroying the left upper arm. Womp womp. But that is the end because we win. And then we save a GIF because we can. I'll just do that. No. All right. There we go. Yeah, I really need to start writing down. Okay. Enemy always retains field battle. No, we do not control the field battle, unfortunately. Okay, next. Charter took a hit, unfortunately. Yeah, I really need to start writing down who actually does things. So for one of the fire starters, that was our Shadowhawk. I don't know who did that. Oh, wait, no, that was definitely the Shadowhawk as well. The Commando, that was, whoops, not the Shadowhawk. That was the Rifleman. For these guys, that Firestarter was the Gladiator. At least one of the Stingers is the Gladiator as well. And then I know the Archer got somebody as well. So we'll roll with that. Okay, so it said destroy or rout, not destroy. And we routed those two. And we didn't fail the objective. So I'm going to go ahead and click those things just so we're not losing 2 victory points, because that seems like silliness to lose the victory points when in all reality we could have just run past the awesome because it's slow. And so we'll finish it up. Charter gets a purple heart. Good for him. We'll assign him to a doctor, who we also need to level up a little, I think. We'll go ahead and advance the day here. And Baker Lance is returned. So let's go ahead and start working on things. I think, yes, we have an extra left arm, fortunately. Oh, hey, look, a bot. Isn't that nice? So we'll go ahead and get started on repairing things. And so while we're doing this, I'll go ahead and just remind everybody. So if you're watching on Twitch and you're enjoying what you are seeing right now, I would really appreciate it if you would go ahead and give me a follow. It helps a lot with just trying to make sure I get some more viewers and all that fun stuff. And then if you're watching on YouTube, I really appreciate if you press the like button on this video and also go ahead and subscribe. It helps also get additional viewers and pull people in for maybe being able to find these kinds of videos. You know, a lot of the reason why I started doing this was because I found that I really enjoyed watching people play games. I just enjoyed watching kind of chill, relaxing games like MegaMek, like MekHQ, things like that. And it was nice to be able to spend just a couple hours with something like this in the background, and sometimes just sit and watch, and other times just let it run and kind of be able to feel like a part of something. But I always get frustrated that there wasn't a lot of content like that I enjoyed. And so decided to see if I couldn't add a little bit to the world. And so if you are enjoying it, if that's something you like, it helps find other people, or helps other people find this if that's what they're looking for. Okay, cool. Here's all those things. All right, good. And we're continuing to improve the commando, which is good. Is there anything else? The Stalker, we're just waiting on the SRM-6. Commando, we're going to hold off on that. Let's keep wandering around. Charlie. Good. Hostile data center as well as an engagement. So the hostile data center we definitely want to get rid of. That's how they keep on spawning so many recon mechs or recon lances. Super annoying. All right, let's look at the briefing room. So engagement. Your orders are simple. Engage and destroy at least 50% of the enemy force. This is not a hit-and-run operation or a delaying action. You are to commit fully to the engagement and break their strength through superior firepower and tactical positioning. This battle will determine control of the battlefield. The victor will hold the field at the end of the engagement, securing any salvage, denying the enemy any chance of recovery. Every enemy unit destroyed weakens their ability to wage war. Make sure they do not leave this battlefield intact. Strike hard, eliminate the opposition, and take control. Victory is absolute or it is meaningless. Your employer has deployed alongside you an integrated force, and then they are bringing two additional scout mech lances. I'm wondering if that's just because I found the data center. Okay, so the enemies, they're bringing a single grasshopper, a wasp, and a javelin. A mirage, as well as a stinger. And this is going to be Hills Hot Jungle. It's going to be a fairly small map. All right, now this time don't be dumb. Manage deployment. Able Lance. Clicking the right one. Confirm. Commit. And so then what we'll have to do is after this, once Able Lance gets back, we'll have to engage with the hostile data center. In reality, I probably could have sent Baker Lance to deal with this, but it's fine. And so that will be on the 28th. Whoops. All right, and so we have another one coming from the data center. So since we found it, we need to prevent the evacuation. A hidden enemy control facility has been identified for destruction. This installation is too valuable to remain in enemy hands, and its defenders must be eliminated to ensure it is no longer operational. Your mission is to destroy at least 75% of the defending forces. This is not an occupation, this is an eradication. The priority is destruction, not capture. Do not concern yourself with securing the facility. The enemy will fight to protect this installation, but their defenses will crumble under sustained pressure. Crush their forces, level their defenses, and ensure that when this battle is over, the facility is of no use to anyone. The victor will control the field of battle at the end of the engagement. If the facility remains salvageable after the assault, we will destroy it. The enemy will be left with nothing but ruins. Execute with overwhelming force and leave no doubt who owns this battlefield. So that's happening 3 days later on the 1st of October. So the base defenses is a heavy laser turret and a light laser turret. The OP4 includes a Wasp, Warhammer, Wasp, and a Shadowhawk. And then they're also bringing some of their recon mechs with a whole pile of Stingers and a Wasp. And then they've got some a flatbed truck, a forestry mech, and a recovery vehicle. And so we have to destroy 75%. Okay, so the real thing that we have to do is we have to destroy or about 75% of the OP4 and the recon mechs. Everything else is kind of negotiable. And our allies are bringing not terrible pilots for once, and they have a Crusader and a Whitworth. And for this one, our allies are bringing a Shadowhawk with a Mech pilot. Okay, so now it's the 28th. It is time for us to start. Commence drop. Go, go, Power Ranger. Unfortunately, if I do have to bring Baker Lance on the other one, I've got another Warhammer that I can swap in. And so I can just bring that. All right, done. And now we deploy. All right, remember, friends, don't run through the swamp if you don't want to get stuck. So the Grasshopper is dead center. I think we probably drop our Warhammer dead center. Our Guillotine, we can drop near our Warhammer. Because they can kind of cut across in like that. Where are the reinforcements coming from? The reinforcements are coming from the east. So they're going to come from over here, the right side of the screen. So if I can create some distance there, then that would be fine. And they're all coming in around 3. I think that'll be fine. That'll put us in medium range for those PPCs. Not a lot to do here. It's 11s to hit with the large laser, And then LRM is a 9 to hit. Stalker with a couple of LRMs. That'll be 9s. And then we have a little bit of heat available. We'll take the 11, and that'll be okay as well. Medium range for the large laser with an 8 to hit. We'll take those odds. And then last but not least, Warhammer with a pair of PPCs. That's 7 to hit. I like those odds. We'll get a little warm. All right, and so for the Grasshopper, it misses the... Sorry, that was their Grasshopper. Our Grasshopper also misses. Stalker misses with everything. Guillotine hits with a large laser into the right arm. Warhammer hits with one of the PPCs into the left torso. Shadowhawk misses with everything. Voila. We have 2 more turns until the reinforcements arrive. Grasshopper jumped, like a grasshopper is wont to do. Short range for PPCs. I like the looks of that. So, large laser is a 10 to hit. LRM is an 8 to hit. For the Stalker, LRMs are at 10s. Large laser is a 12. For the Guillotine, large lasers 6, and then we can do some medium lasers and SRM for 6 to hit, or an 8 to hit on those. And then the PPCs are 7s. We'll go ahead and get a little extra toasty. Nothing can possibly go wrong. Enemy Grasshopper misses with everything. Shadowhawk misses with everything. Our Grasshopper hits with an LRM 5, 3 damage to the right arm. LRM 10 hits with 6 missiles, 5 damage to center torso, 1 damage to the left arm. Guillotine hits with a large laser into the right leg, medium laser into the left torso, medium laser into the center torso, and SRM 6 misses. The other medium laser also misses. Warhammer hits with one of the PPCs, doing 10 damage to the center torso. Grasshopper took 20 damage and stays standing. We will probably have to back off on the PPCs with the Warhammer next turn just so it can cool down a little. Whoops. We win initiative. And enemy has entered the battlefield. Is that swamp under there? No. What I really should have done is I should have gone up into the woods, but that's okay. Do that. See what the Grasshopper does. No. That should be fine. I'm interested in what this Grasshopper is going to do. Okay. Not what I was hoping for, but not the end of the world either. So, medium lasers, 8, large lasers, a 6. LRM would be an 8. So, we'll just dump with the lasers. Whoops, uh-oh. Pressed F1 too many times. That's okay, though. All right, large laser is a 10, medium lasers are 10s, LRM is a 9. kind of sucks. All right, we'll do both the LRMs. Do a large laser. We'll hope for the best with a medium laser, and then see what happens. For the guillotine, 7s, I'm cool with that. SRM, go 1 over on heat, and it'll be okay. Lastly, with the Warhammer, we'll go ahead and back off the PPCs for right now. So medium laser, SRM, medium laser, and the output is 1 over on heat, which is fine. Give us a chance to cool down. Stinger hits the guillotine in the left leg with a medium laser. Our grasshopper hits the enemy grasshopper with a medium laser on the right torso, medium laser to the right arm. Large laser hits the left leg, and everything else missed. The enemy firestarter misses. Our stalker hits with an LRM 10, 6 missiles, 5 damage to the right torso and 1 damage to the right leg. Miss with everything else. Enemy javelin misses with its SRM 6s. The guillotine manages to miss with just about everything except for the SRM 6, which 3 missiles hit, 2 damage to the left leg, 2 damage to the right torso, 2 damage to the right arm. Enemy wasp misses with everything. The Warhammer hits with the medium laser to the left torso. All armor is gone. And then SRM 6, 4 missiles hit, 2 damage to the center torso, 2 damage to the left torso, damaging 2 heat sinks, 2 damage to the center torso, 2 damage to the right arm. And then the enemy grasshopper hits the guillotine of the right leg with a medium laser, and then the left torso with a medium laser. Allied Shadowhawk whiffs it. Enemy grasshopper stays standing. That would have hurt a lot. So, enemy grasshopper kicks, initially rolled the head, but got re-rolled with edge. Now takes 14 damage to the left torso, 3 armor remaining. The guillotine stays standing. And we lose initiative. So we'll go ahead and jump. It's possible the grasshopper might jump right there. I really hope it doesn't, but it's possible. All right, we'll back the Warhammer up just a little bit. Okay, so it should be one of the stingers, right? No, the wasp? Yeah, so we have to destroy the wasp and the javelin. So the wasp, that's a 9 to hit. 8 with the LRM. Why don't we do that? So large laser, LRM, do a couple of medium lasers. That'll put us at neutral heat, and we don't have to worry about it. The stalker, 8s on the medium lasers. I'll take those odds. Puts us at 19 heat. Always like an SRM. Now is where I would like to use that other SRM, but oh wait, it's gone. And it hasn't arrived yet. It's like the beginning of Star Trek Generations. Gets installed on Tuesday. Yeah, I don't want to generate too much heat right now. Guillotine. So 9 for the large laser into the wasp, 11s on the mediums. I think that's what we'll have to do. See if anything manages to hit. And last but not least, the Warhammer. So it'd be a 6 with the PPC against the Grasshopper, an 8 for the Javelin, 9 for the Wasp, 7 for the Mirage. Really want to get the Grasshopper out of here. So we'll get warm. Let's see what happens. Ooh, looked like something bad happened. The Grasshopper hits the Javelin in the left leg, and then all 5 of the LRMs also hit, going into the right arm, miss with both of the medium lasers. Stinger misses. Our Stalker into the Grasshopper, hits the left leg, hits the left torso, critting on the left torso, misses with a couple of things. SRM-6 hits with 4 of the 6 missiles, 2 damage to the left torso, critting the heatsink and the medium laser, 2 more damage to the left arm, 2 damage to the left leg, 2 more damage to the left torso, critting on 2 additional heatsinks. The Mirage missed with everything. The Guillotine, firing a large laser into the Wasp, hits the right arm, destroys it, 1 damage to the transfers to the right torso. Misses with everything else. The enemy Grasshopper with a large laser into the center torso of the Stalker, and a medium laser into the left leg of the Stalker. Warhammer hits the center torso with a PPC, critting against the gyro and an engine hit. Javelin misses with everything. Ally Shadowhawk misses with everything. Wasp misses with everything. Did I say hit? Miss. Everything is missing. All right, Grasshopper takes a gyro hit and took 20 damage. Needs a 10, rolls a 4, falls, takes 7 damage to the takes still 7 damage, 5 damage to the rear right torso, 2 damage to the right arm. Also, the pilot takes a hit. And now we kick. 17 damage to the left arm. I'll take that. Grasshopper is now at 15 heat because it's lost a bunch of heat sinks and it took an engine hit. It needed a 4 to avoid a shutdown, rolls a 7. That's a choice. There are a lot of choices being made here. Well, I guess you just back up. Huh. I kind of want my Stalker to sit still, even though I know the Wasp and the Mirage are probably going to shoot it right in the back. I think he just turns. That way he's taking the hits on the front and not the rear. I think that's all we do. Grasshopper fails to get up, falls, 5 damage to the right arm, 2 damage to the right torso, and the pilot takes another hit. Well, I think we shoot the Javelin because I actually have to kill the Javelin. So 6s around. The Stalker. Do I shoot the Wasp? So it's 8s on the Wasp versus 3s on the Grasshopper. I mean, we have to destroy the Grasshopper, so we're going to prioritize that. And now it's worth getting warm. And 2 heat is well worth it. Definitely inside the safe zone. So 8s on the Stinger. We can take that. Go 1 over on heat. It'll be just fine. Last but not least, the Warhammer. You're a little close for everything, my friend. I think the Wasp is the other one that I do have to kill, though. So 7's on the medium laser. 9, yeah, sure. 9, sure. SRM, yeah. Medium laser, sure. Small laser, yeah. Machine gun, sure. Okay. Also lets the Warhammer cool down a little bit. Okay, so enemy Stinger hits the guillotine with a couple of machine guns, doing some damage to the center torso and the right leg. Allied Shadowhawk still misses with everything. This dude can't hit anything to save his life. Enemy Mirage hits the Warhammer with a medium laser and also a small laser and a machine gun. Our Grasshopper hits with a medium laser into the left arm of the Javelin, also into the center torso and the right torso. Misses with the large laser and the medium laser, though. Enemy Javelin misses with both the SRMs. Our Stalker does a lot of bad things to the Grasshopper. Unfortunately, we're firing into the rear, and so kind of having to remake our gains. But almost no armor left on the rear now. Finally, getting down into internal structure, getting some crits without any results. Enemy Wasp gets 1 SRM into the center torso of the Stalker. That's adorable. The Guillotine does really bad things to the Stinger. So left torso is gone, blowing off the left arm, going down into the center torso. Does some more damage to the center torso, but misses with a bunch of stuff as well. Warhammer into the Wasp hits with a medium laser into the left torso. SRM hits with 2 missiles, damage to the left leg and the right torso. Medium laser into the center torso. Machine gun hits the right arm, which transfers to the right torso, and that is everything. So the Grasshopper can kick the Javelin. It's a 6 to hit. The Stalker can kick the Grasshopper. Do I kick the Grasshopper or the Wasp? That's the question. So it's a 6 to hit the Wasp. The Grasshopper is pretty well incapacitated at this point. But I think we just have to get them all the way out. So we'll go ahead and kick the Grasshopper. You can kick the Stinger. You can kick the Mirage. Everybody gets kicked. Firestarter missed. Shadowhawk missed. Wasp hits the Shadowhawk in the right leg. What do you want to bet? What do you think? Does the Shadowhawk stay standing or not? Yes or no? I think that I haven't looked, but I think he stays standing. Grasshopper missed against the Javelin, unfortunately. Stalker kicks the Grasshopper, damaging the right leg, which is like the one thing that still had a bunch of armor. The Javelin kicks the Grasshopper in the right leg. Guillotine also misses, unfortunately. Rolls a 5, needed a 6. Warhammer kicks the Mirage, doing 14 damage to the right leg. Grasshopper stays standing. Guillotine stays standing. Shadowhawk stays standing. Mirage stays standing. Everybody stays standing. Nobody gets to fall today. And enemy Grasshopper is chilling at 6 heat. And we win initiative. Wow, the Grasshopper stood up. Isn't that nice? I just want to leave the Stalker right there, honestly. It's probably a bad move, but I think it'll be fine. Follow the Javelin. What to do, what to do. We'll just back up. Back up a little bit. We'll see what the Mirage does. I really don't want the Stinger to get away. Like, it doesn't matter if it does, but I don't want it to. It's the principle of the thing. But he's also not the priority. We'll go there. See what the Mirage does. Maybe. Here we go. Okay, so Grasshopper fell, destroyed its own right arm, did some more damage to the right torso. And the pilot took another hit, but eventually does manage to stand up, which is neat. So let's go ahead and... Oh, hold on 1 second, guys. 20-second break. Whoop, 20 seconds. All right, sorry about that. All right, so PPCs are a 6 against the Javelin. I think that'd be fine. Why don't we just do the Warhammer into the Javelin? You can get a little toasty. And then... boop. The Grasshopper, we can actually probably have... Oh, what's the Guillotine doing? So the Guillotine, why don't we have you do a large laser, a couple medium lasers, your SRM6, and another medium laser into the Wasp. Do we do the Mirage? No, we definitely do the Mirage instead. So we do all the things I just said, but into the Mirage instead. And the Grasshopper can shoot at the Wasp. It's 5s. I think it can manage it. Hopefully. Maybe. Possibly. And then the Stalker can do a bunch of bad things to the Grasshopper. All right, so Ally Shadowhawk still can't hit anything. Enemy Grasshopper hits the Stalker with a large laser into the right leg, medium laser into the left leg, and misses with the other medium laser. Our Warhammer smacks the Javelin with a PPC into the right arm, destroying the right arm. 4 damage transfers to the right torso. Going down to 6 internal structure. The other PPC misses, unfortunately. Enemy Javelin misses. Our Guillotine, large laser, hits the Mirage in the center torso. Then a medium laser into the left leg, medium laser to the left leg, medium laser to the left leg. SRM6 hits with 5 of the 6 missiles, doing 2 more damage to the left leg. This poor left leg. 2 more damage to the left leg. Critting on the jump jet and the lower leg. 2 damage to the right leg, 2 damage to the left torso, and 2 more damage to the left leg. This poor left leg just got demolished in one fell swoop. The Wasp shoots an SRM at the Grasshopper. The Grasshopper, our Grasshopper, hits the head of the Wasp with a medium laser and crits on the cockpit, destroying the mech and killing the pilot. Nothing else really matters. But, yeah, bad things happen to the Wasp anyways. Very bad things. Our Stalker, shooting at the Grasshopper, destroys the left torso, transferring to the center torso, gets another engine hit, also shoots the right leg, destroys the right leg. There's like nothing left of this thing, but misses with the other two because it rolled 3s when it needed a 4. The Mirage hits the Guillotine with a medium laser, as well as a small laser, as well as a machine gun. So, enemy Grasshopper fell, 7 damage to the right arm, which then transfers to the right torso, and then 2 more damage to the right torso. Enemy pilot blacks out. And then the Mirage stays standing. All right. Well, why don't we see if we can't kick the Javelin? We're definitely going to kick the Grasshopper. The Shadowhawk hit something. Wow. And it destroyed the left leg of the Javelin. Javelin missed. Grasshopper missed, unfortunately. Stalker hit, which essentially goes straight to the center torso. 7 internal structure remaining. Then the Firestarter kicks the Grasshopper. So the Javelin falls, doing 3 damage to his left arm, critting on his hand. And the pilot avoids damage. The Grasshopper is now at 22 heat. And because the pilot is unconscious, the mech automatically shuts down, and we avoid an ammo explosion. I think that this mech is well and truly toast. There's like nothing left of it. So the Warhammer, you can kind of walk up a little bit, saunter on over, see what's happening. The Guillotine, I'm actually going to have it come over and start looking at the Stinger, which is still running away. Stalker will have you hold still again. The Grasshopper can back on up. All right, so the Javelin, pilot ejected. Which means we can focus down all of our other friends. So we can do medium lasers into the Mirage along with a large laser. All those are a 4 to hit, which I'm super cool with. Yeah, I mean, look at this poor thing. It doesn't have a right torso. It doesn't have a left torso. It doesn't have any upper extremities. It doesn't have a right leg. The only thing that has not been hit is the head. That's it. That's it. Even if I'm aiming at the head, it's a 5 to hit. And I'm going to aim at the head because I kind of want the mech, even though there's like nothing left of it. So medium laser, medium laser, medium laser, medium laser, large laser. And that'll be it. Done. So it's an 8 and some 10s. Call it good. And the Warhammer. We can do that. That'll be fine. Ooh, actually, hold on. Wait. 11s, no, not worth it. Not worth it at all. Yeah, zombie mechs is always a chore, especially when they're HP sponges like grasshoppers. But that's fine. That's okay. All right, the grasshopper does really bad things to the fire starter. So left leg was destroyed, transferring some damage to the left torso rear. More damage to the left torso rear. And then also destroys the right leg. Poor guy. And then we destroy the left torso, doing some damage to the center torso. Bad things have happened. Excuse me. Stalker obviously hits the grasshopper. We managed to hit the head once. And then we destroyed the engine, which is fine. And then we destroyed the head as well. So there's really almost nothing left of this poor little mech. The guillotine against the stinger. SRM hits, doing 2 damage to the right leg, 2 damage to the right arm, 2 damage to the right arm, 2 damage to the right arm. Medium laser also hits the center torso, destroying the center torso, which is exciting. The fire starter does hit the guillotine in the left arm and the right arm, as well as the right torso and the left torso. The Warhammer puts a PPC into the center torso, doing a double engine hit. And then the Shadowhawk also magically hits something again, putting an AC5 into the head of the Mirage and an SRM2 into the right leg and the right torso. The Mirage, since it has no legs, it fell down. I know. It's a shocker. That's absolutely shocking. Falls on its left side, taking 4 damage to the right torso. The pilot needs to roll a 17 to avoid damage, and it failed to meet that roll. So he took a damage, but he does stay conscious. Yeah, headshot. Poor little grasshopper. He just had a really bad day. But regardless, we actually met our win objectives. I'll go ahead and type /victory, but I have a feeling that I won't have to worry about that. So we'll go ahead and kick. It's a 2 to hit. I hope that we can make it. We're not going to kick the enemy pilot. I don't believe in do that. Lieutenant Diane. Lieutenant Diane? All right, and the Mirage doesn't have an engine anymore, because when you're lying on the ground with an exposed engine, of course you kick it. Oh, poor lambs. Poor lambs. They have no mechs left. Oh, that was a good time. Absolutely good time. Boop. And done. Yeah, I think that we controlled the field of battle. Yes. So guillotine took a little bit of damage. Everything else was not really a whole lot. So what do we want? Do we want the grasshopper that's not really there? Maybe a javelin that's also kind of not there. I think we'll do that. So the javelin, that is going to go to the Warhammer, and then everything else looks right. Boop. Okay, we did manage to do this. The scenario said, what did it say? Was it this one? Yeah, it was this one. Yes, strike hard, eliminate the opposition, take control. Victory is absolute. I think we had absolute victory. All right, and so with that, we are going to go ahead and advance the day a couple of times. We're going to assign the techs, assign some techs to do the things. Does anybody need help? Nope. There we go. We can go ahead and go forward a day or two. Charlie Lance came back home. Go forward one more time. Abel Lance is back. So now it's just important that we repair all the things. Ha! And our SRMs arrived. So we can replace the SRM. We can replace some armor. Do the things. Do all the things. Boop, boop. And so as we're finishing this up, we're probably going to be closing the stream down here pretty shortly. I've been on for about 2.5 hours, aside from the 10 minutes where we went and looked at the Northern Lights. So with that, we will assign Abel Lance to the hostile data center. Abel Lance, go Power Rangers, and commit. And the next time we stream, we will see what happens when we go against the data center. And we'll also start working on probably repairing a few of these things. What things do we need for them? So we need some jump jets. We'll order a couple of those. A right arm, we'll order one of those. The left leg, get one of those. Lower arm actuator, get a couple of those. Get a couple of LRMs. Okay, cool. And then some hand actuators. Torso, cool. There's all that fun stuff. Everything should arrive eventually. And so the next time we stream, we will kind of see what happens with this next fight. Like I said, we'll keep on going on this campaign until version 50.10 comes out. And at that point, we are going to start a new campaign. It's going to be not on the easy settings, but it's going to be on the veteran settings. It's going to be significantly more difficult. And it's also going to be taking place during the clan invasion. I'm planning on having it take place probably in 3051, around the War of Peace. And the goal of that campaign is going to be the Billion Brigade. So we're gonna go ahead and do a straight roll to see how much money we start off with. We'll need to figure out which rough faction we're coming from, and then we'll roll for the possibility of different mechs. We'll do all that fun stuff, which will be great. And then the goal of the campaign is to go from starting a mech company all the way to having 1 billion C-bills in our coffers. When we get to 1 billion C-bills, we can finally retire and get rid of our life of war. But we have to get to 1 billion C-bills first, or die trying. So when version 50.10 comes out, that's what we'll be switching over to. I'll probably have one stream where we're just putting all that stuff together, and then we'll move on. But anyways, so thank you all for joining. Pika Australis, thank you so much for joining. Ileani, also, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for participating in chat. I really appreciate it. If you guys have enjoyed the stream, then please go ahead and give us a follow. I'd really appreciate it. And for anybody who's watching later on YouTube, go ahead, hit a like button on this video, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. Helps other people find out as well. Next stream is going to be happening probably, I've got family coming into town, so probably like Saturday. Saturday evening is what we'll shoot for. But you can follow me on Blue Sky. I always put up probably about 1 to 2 days in advance before I do a stream. And then I also post on the, Ileani, thank you for the follow. I also always put it up on the MegaMek Discord whenever I'm going to stream. So keep an eye out there. I hope you all stay safe, and we will see you next time. Take care.